Hello, everyone. I'm Tamara Killian, the Director of Donor Relations at the National Diaper Bank Network, and I'm here today with Erin Campbell, the Executive Director and Founder of the Athens Area Diaper Bank in Athens, Georgia. Erin, thank you for joining us today and for talking a little bit about your programs with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. We love National Diaper Bank Network, and we love our community, and we love babies.
That's great, and we love that. A little bit about your background, Erin. I noticed a couple things that were very interesting. First and foremost, it's a story we know well here at NDBN. Many of our members started their diaper bank or learned about diaper need when they had a little one. Can you tell us more about that? Can you tell us a little bit more about that for you?
Sure, it was definitely a moment. When my now 7-year-old was a little baby, I was just a few weeks postpartum, so sure, a little bit emotional, but I was holding her in my arms, flipping through a magazine, and there was a blurb from the National Diaper Bank Network that had the 1 in 3 figure. 1 in 3 families in the United States struggle to afford diapers, and government support programs don't help families cover the cost of diapers. And that together means that families will end up using a dirty diaper over and over again. And there I was holding my little baby in my arms thinking, parenthood is so difficult, even when you have every single box checked, every single type of support that you can have, it's still really hard. So I put myself in the position of the moms and dads that can't offer the basic need, a diaper, that's it. And it just crushed me thinking about how hard it would be to not have those basic needs. So I immediately looked up where our local diaper bank was. I thought, I'm going to get involved, I'm going to donate. And then I realized there was no diaper bank in our area. But lucky for me, the National Diaper Bank Network had a great set of resources on the website for how to start a diaper bank. So a few months later, I just started asking friends and family to collect diapers for me. Every time I had a party, every time I had friends over, I asked for diapers, and that slowly snowballed to a bigger and bigger thing until eventually we started an actual organization, and we've gotten bigger and bigger every year.
That's really great. And even more, I guess, on a personal note than that, I want to ask a little bit about before that, or maybe even after that. I noticed that you have a PhD in biology. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's super interesting.
Okay, so yeah, my PhD is in biology. My research was in cell biology and developmental biology. It had nothing to do with babies or diapers. So it was just what my former life was, but I'm always a scientist. I'm always asking questions, trying to figure out the most efficient way to do something. That background has helped me stay organized and keep a really analytical approach to how we distribute diapers and how we apply for grants and fundraise money. So it's a background that sounds like it has nothing to do with diaper banks, running a diaper bank. But when you are taught to think critically and really push yourself to answer hard questions, then you see that being a scientist is kind of a lifelong thing. I know it sounds so cheesy.
No, it doesn't actually. And I really love that you mentioned fundraising in there, obviously, as the Director of Donor Relations at NDBN. That's near and dear to my heart. So I love that you mentioned that. And grant writing, that's huge. So being able to apply it there is just, really great to hear.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. Sorry, I just wanted to add this. Because in science, everything is so number-based. And so even now, a lot of the grants that I write, obviously you need to show the numbers for things, but the interesting thing is that there's so many human stories that really help tell the story about what it for a family to experience diaper need, and then the relief that a family feels after they receive diapers from a diaper bank. It's not just a dry diaper, it's so much more. So adding the stories with the numbers builds a really strong case when you're writing a grant and trying to find donors. Yeah.
Makes total sense, and thank you so much for saying that. I think a lot of people can learn from that and can use that bit of information when you marry the anecdotal information with all the facts and figures to back it up. You tie in those personal stories along with all the research. It really makes a stronger case for your grants and grant writing. So thank you for saying that. You're speaking my language, so it's very interesting to me, of course. Can you tell me a little bit about, or tell us really, a little bit more about your program specifically, the families you serve, how you guys distribute diapers in your community, or maybe a little bit more about your community in general?
Sure. So like a lot of other diaper banks, we distribute diapers through partner agencies. We don't distribute diapers directly to families. Our organization is all volunteer. And as you know, I am not a social worker. So I don't have the training to know or the time to know exactly how to distribute diapers directly to families. So the Athens Area Diaper Bank, we work with now 23 partner agencies in the area. And all of these different partners can range from serving families where there is addiction recovery, a shelter where they allow moms to bring their children while they're recovering from substance abuse. There are homeless shelters. There's a couple of domestic violence shelters. And we also have a lot of programs for people just living in poverty, generational poverty, that is so prevalent, especially in the Athens area. So some of our newest partners recently in connection or due to the COVID pandemic are one of the local school districts and some other kind of boots on the ground kind of organizations, because we're all just pushing so hard because of.
And speaking of the pandemic, has that really or how has that impacted the way that you guys provide services in your community, or has it?
Oh, absolutely. So when COVID-19 hit, almost immediately we started getting phone calls, and they're sad phone calls. It's people who have lost their job the day before. They're trying to figure out how to get the basic needs for their families met. So we immediately jumped into action to figure out, number one, how can we distribute diapers? And number two, how can we do it safely and keep those of us that work with the organization, how can we keep all of us safe and everybody else safe? So we have distributed over twofold the number of diapers since March that we had originally anticipated on distributing. And also because of COVID-19, so many new partnerships and friendships have formed because everybody's trying to pull in together and help the community. For example, our partnership with the Clark County School District in which Athens resides in. It's a great school district. And before the pandemic, these partnership with a giant organization like a school district would take a while. Lots of meetings and vetting of us and signing forms. And I think the pandemic reminded people that if you want to get something done, let's virtually shake hands. Let's talk about what our goals are and just get it done. So we've been really thankful. Our community's been really motivated to help one another. It's a small enough community that a lot of people know each other, but it's still large enough that there are so many resources that we can all share together. And so it's made me love our town even more, that's for sure, despite how crazy the pandemic has been.
That's really great. It's one of the things that you continue to hear about this pandemic, that it sort of like brought people together and made sort of that community support so much bigger and better and a lot less red tape.
For sure, it's been great, because I was thinking a school district, I mean, it would be months of meetings and signatures and how does this work? And it would just kind of get swallowed up by meetings. And the pandemic, like, let's just cut to the chase. I want to help. You want to help? Let's do it together.
Accelerated the whole process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's been a silver lining on this crazy time we're living in right now.
Good. We're always for silver linings. Can you tell us, despite the pandemic, how are you guys celebrating this year? Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing this week for National Diaper Need Awareness Week, or maybe a little bit about what you've done in the past or how that how it's changing this year.
Sure. Okay. National Diaper Need Awareness Week coming up this coming week. We are so about it. We know that it's going to look really different than it did last year. So traditionally, we invite businesses all over town, all over our whole 6-county service area. We invite everybody to host diaper drives for us. We have a great Google map where we show where people can drop off diapers, and we do some fundraising, and we do a lot of awareness over social media. And a lot of that we can still do, but we also know that a lot of businesses are not functioning the way that they do before the pandemic. So we've had to kind of adjust. A lot of the businesses aren't quite ready to have people walk in through their doors, or some of the businesses are, maybe they've cut their own hours or whatever it is. So we've adjusted how we're doing things. We still have several spots around town that are collecting diapers for us. And we have this year, because of the pandemic, we're also asking people to consider hosting private diaper drives. So even within my own neighbor, I've asked all of my neighborhood to just drop diapers off on my doorstep. And I know a few other people around the community are doing that. So this way we can be safe during a pandemic, but still get diapers in the hands of the families. Yeah. So we're trying, but we're flexible. You have to be flexible right now. And we're lucky that we can be flexible. And we've stepped up to the challenge here.
That's really good. And now I guess I will put you on the spot a little bit here and ask you, are you planning on attending our national conference this year, a conference on poverty and basic needs?
The first time I went to the conference with the National Diaper Bank Network was 2 years ago, and it was transformative for me. Because I don't have a background in running nonprofits or diaper banks for that matter, a huge component of just education on how to run an organization. And then there were stories and friendships that with all of the other diaper banks and basic needs banks that I still email my buddies when we're stuck somewhere. And it was really super inspirational and educational all in one. And I'm super excited about it this year. I know it's going to look different. And the face-to-face interaction and rapport you build, we'll just have to figure out how to do it online, but I'll be there for sure.
Oh, that's great. We're definitely working on, trying to figure out the social aspects of the conference, with it being totally virtual this year. But, we have some things in mind, and we really hope that people will, still really use those opportunities to make those connections like you did a couple years ago, and really, use that networking to sort of help you build your program, get new ideas, just renew your energy, which we hear a lot from people who attend the conference every year. And for the staff here at NDBN, at the end of the conference, we're tired for sure, but it's usually, come back so energized and just feeling like, we love what we do. We love it here. So,
and it's funny because since we're the only diaper bank in our area, it's hard for me to know exactly what the best practices are, but there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, right? So all of the other diaper banks started out in somebody's garage, just like ours. So everybody was so helpful, like, oh, no, here's how we wrap the diapers. Here's what we do. Here's what our warehouse looks like. Here's what the second warehouse we got looks like. It's great because everybody kind of started from that same little diaper bank, and everybody has the same goal in mind, but everybody's really supportive. And yeah, it was fantastic.
That's really, really good to hear. So, we hope you'll definitely take advantage of the social opportunities, even though they are virtual this year. And hopefully it'll be just as fruitful as if we were
Oh,
in
sure.
person. So,
Well, even the webinars this summer, I got so much out of, they were, I mean, I don't want to like brown nose here, but I really truly like, I'm like a sponge soaking all of this up because I don't know how to fundraise, like somebody who's, I have not been trained how to run a nonprofit.
yeah.
And I sometimes feel in over my head and you guys are like, you don't have to, we got it. Hold my hand and I'll take you and we'll get it done.
So
Yeah.
glad to hear that. Really, really glad to hear that. And really, if on a more personal note, if you ever have additional questions on your fundraising, grant writing, all things donor relations, I am more than happy to help and available to all our members. So if anyone has questions, you can
Yeah.
always just reach out to us.
Thank
Um,
you. You guys are awesome.
so is there anything else you wanted to share about yourself, about your diaper bank, about your community, about Diaper Need Awareness Week? Anything else you'd like to share before we
Um,
move on?
think of anything right now. I mean, my fear is that we're going to face some charity fatigue. There are so many good causes right now between the pandemic, the census, the election, um, social and racial justice. There are so many great causes right now. And I'm fearful that we're going to run out of, not that we're going to run out of steam, but everybody else is going to run out of steam. I know some of our donors have told us, like, we get 10 different emails to donate to campaigns and then another 10 emails to donate to nonprofits. And the bottom line is, like, we need the help, but I get it. I get it because I get those emails too, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm a little bit fearful that donation fatigue will set in and then we'll be up a creek.
And not to toot our horn, but a part of our summer learning series over the last few weeks did note about diversifying your funding. So that is definitely something to look into as donor fatigue may or may not come into place sooner than later. We know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, unfortunately. So hopefully we can do some work to try and get us a little bit more diversified in our funding base and feeling a little less stress about about any big changes to our income from individual donors. So
For sure.
again, if there's ever anything I can do to help with that, please just reach out and let me know.
I will.
Okay, so I wanted to thank you for taking the time to speak with us today, Erin. And for everyone watching, if you want to learn more about the Athens Area Diaper Bank, please visit their website at AthensAreaDiaperBank.com. I think I've got that right. Okay.
Yes, that's right. And thank you so much, National Diaper Bank Network. We love being part of your network, and we really appreciate all the support and encouragement from you guys.
Awesome. Thanks.